So good evening and welcome to the Friday Study Circle. Good
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 evening.
evening, Captain. Yes. Yeah, hi Shilpi, welcome. So in the Friday Study Circle, we are taking up passages from the Sunlit path. So those are passages of what the mother has said. So just an introduction, and mother says at the beginning of the compilation, there is this text that don't take these words as mere words, they are forces in action. So again, just going in with this knowledge, this sharing by the mother of her words, it's also very empowering. So before we take up the passages, just aspiring for more light, more suppleness, more receptivity, and invoking Sri Aurobindo and Mother's presence and grace as we go through her words. So last week we had taken up this passage titled The Only Way Out. So this also actually had a recording that we had heard in which mother is saying this to, Chacha ji, Tara Didi's father who had made Sri Aurobindo's ashram in Delhi. So this was his question and this was an answer to that question. So we had discussed this, but we had not fully taken it up. So if anybody is willing, they can read the passage till, but where to get such a strength. So we'll read it, reading it slow and yeah. Captain, you'll go?
I'll read.
Yeah.
Uh, the only way out. You see, in the present condition of the world, circumstances are always difficult. The whole world is in a condition of strife, conflict between the forces of truth and light, wanting to manifest, and the opposition of all that does not want to change, which represents in the past what is fixed, hardened, and refuses to go. Naturally, each individual feels his own difficulties and is faced by the same obstacles. There is only one way for you. It is a total, complete, and unconditional surrender. What I mean by that is the giving up not only of your actions, work, ambitions, but also of all your feelings, in the sense that all that you can do, all that you do, all that you are is exclusively for the divine. So you feel above the surrounding human reactions, not only above them, but protected from them by the wall of the divine's grace. Once you have no more desires, no more attachments, once you have given up all necessity of receiving a reward from human beings, whoever they are, knowing that only reward that is worth getting is the one that comes from the Supreme and that never fails. Once you give up the attachment to all exterior beings and things, you at once feel in your heart this presence, this force, this grace that is always with you. Continue.
We can stop maybe. We felt a lot. So thank you, Captain. So we
Well,
had briefly discussed it. I think, Captain, you were not there last time, if I
yeah,
remember
last time I was
correctly.
not there, so I was seeing the recording. That really helps. Like
Okay.
even if we miss some class, so discussions. So
Yeah. Sweet
particularly the
of you to call it a
mother's
class.
own wordings, actually mother's own
Yeah.
wordings.
Yeah.
So she was reading the entire text actually,
Yeah.
not
Thank you,
reading,
Captain.
but she
Mm,
was probably extempore. She
mm.
was talking.
So I'll share the video of what we had seen on the group in case anybody wants to just see that video. So now just coming, taking up the passage once again a little bit and then we'll move forward. If there's any reflection on what we have read or anything from last time, from those who were here, they can please unmute and share. Otherwise, I'll take it up slowly. Yeah, so I'll just read it again. So, as we had discussed, Mother says that you see, in the present condition of the world, circumstances are always difficult. It's interesting that this would have been said a long time back, and a condition never changes, right? That the present conditions of the world are always difficult, no matter the time or where one is. So the whole world is in a condition of strife, conflict between the forces of truth and light, wanting to manifest, and the opposition of all that does not want to change. So, when I read it as the whole world, my attention goes outside. But if I turn it within and say how my world is always, mostly, a lot of time in a condition of strife, conflict, a truth that wants to come out, and my habits, my egos, my patterns refusing to see the light. Because there is a delight that I sense, that I feel in my old ways. There's a comfort that I feel. So somehow this brings it more home to me. So my world is in a condition of strife, conflict between the forces of truth and light wanting to manifest, and the opposition of all that does not want to change, which represents in the past what is fixed, hardened, and refuses to go. So naturally, each individual feels his own difficulties and is faced by the same obstacles. So for years and years and years, sometime a whole lifetime, we just keep facing the same problem. And I think there is a quote, I don't know, by Albert Einstein, that what is, I don't know, stupidity. And it is like, doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result. I think Jagan had shared it once, if I'm not wrong. So that's how we live, right? That it would change this time. Or my life is special, it would not happen to me. So once we are done, playing those games or trying to distract ourselves by that, we know that everybody, whatever that feels his own difficulty, we are being faced by the same obstacles. And there is only one way for you, which is total, complete, and unconditional surrender. So surrender to me, I don't know, sounds quite big at times. At times, if I really sit with it, I'm not sure what it is because there's so much of me which I don't know. There's so much of me that still surprises me when I see it coming out. So how do I give something I don't know exists or I am? The offering is something that comes very naturally, which is moment to moment to moment surrender. That's what at least I feel offering feels like to me. But Mother, here explains that what I mean by that is the giving of not only of your actions, work, ambitions, but also of all your feelings. Usually how we are told that don't do anything for the result, don't, everything should be directed towards God. So in addition to action, work, ambitions, Mother also adds all the feelings in the sense that all that you do, all that you are is exclusively for the divine, exclusively for the divine. So you feel above the surrounding human reactions. I think this is really important because a lot of times we don't do things that, what will he think? What will she think? What will I don't know, the society, the world, my parents, the images that we have that we so badly want to maintain. So when I'm also offering my feelings, and as I think Nandini had shared last time, preferences, right? Choices and preferences. I don't know if you had shared here or in a different section, but so when I am able to offer that, I would feel above the surrounding human reactions, not only above them, but protected from them by the wall of the divine's grace. So how beautiful is that, right? That till I am scared, till I am bowing to the laws of the world, the society, I will be scared and they will affect me. But when I, kind of change my direction, I kind of change where my eyes are looking. If I change where my head is bowed, all that would go away and I will rise above. Not only above, Mother says, but protected from them by the wall of the divine's grace. So once you have no more desires, no more attachments, once you have given up all necessity of receiving a reward from human beings, and we know what all we do, right, for these rewards, for these so-called brownie points that we keep collecting in our lives, which there's no bank that can cash them, right? But we don't see that. We just feel like a martyr, that, okay, I'm giving up this, I'm sacrificing this, I'm bowing here so that things can have some level of peace. There is a harmony, although superficial, unstable, but let me not rock the boat. So, till I am wanting rewards from outside of me, nothing would change. So, once you have no more desires, no more attachments, once you have given up all necessity of receiving a reward from human beings, whoever they are, knowing that the only reward that is worth getting is the one that comes from the Supreme, and that never fails. Once you give up the attachment to all exterior beings and things, you at once feel in your heart this presence, this force, this grace that is always with you. We keep putting the onus outside of us. But here, although it could look really far, but it's on me, right? So once I am ready to give up the false that I am clinging to, the truth is just waiting itself, waiting there so that it can show itself. So it could be, I don't know, a bit heavy, and we went fast because we had done a lot of it last time. But just taking a pause after this past paragraph in case there's any reflection, comment, question that we can answer together.
I I remember reading this sometime back, and am I audible?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So giving up actions, work, ambition, feelings, and after some time I was so overwhelmed because I was feeling, my God, this is not happening. Doesn't happen. Then I started, maybe I'll start with one. Maybe I start with my feelings, because for me, vital is strong. So maybe, whatever feelings I'll have, I'll surrender to the divine. But that also somehow, there was this thing that maybe I know this is the goal. This is where I have to go. But somehow, something, my approach is not right. And for us, it can be different. And then, yeah, I think there was this session only I was attending with Monica, and something dawned on me that maybe I'm being too ambitious about it. It's a journey, right? It's a journey, like as you said, surrender sometimes appears so big, So how about starting with offering, which I can do? I cannot surrender, but even that I can offer to the divine, that I'm not able to surrender, so take that too. Or I remember I listened to the recording yesterday, how Jagan was saying about true love and being, like going to the mother and being completely naked about not realizing it, or being so much, there is a lot of purification needs to be done to reach that. So just that I wanted to say that, like, for me, what have worked is that having no desires right now appears so big. So maybe what I can do is that maybe I can be reasonable with my desires. I can bring in reason, because if I start with the ambition of no desire and a part of me is not resonating, then I feel like giving up because it's not happening and the pessimism comes. So that also, that I know this is the goal, and by the grace, when it will happen, maybe it will happen in a minute, because some people get enlightenment just like that. But till the time, maybe I'll have realistic goals. So, being ambitious about something which I know will benefit everybody. So kind of purifying that, being more collaborative in my ambition. So that has really helped me to, kind of relaxing down in feelings as well. I cannot stop feeling or be completely equanimous right now. So maybe I just try to be as happy as I could, as in the, like, the most positive I could be, the highest of my consciousness, instead of aiming that I need to be equanimous, which right now is not resonating. So that I thought is to just act, I really assess where are we at this point of journey, and we all could be on different path. But for me, that has really helped. So it doesn't bring too much pessimism. It gives me more aspiration, more confidence to keep going on. So I just thought of sharing that. And also, like, using positive affirmations has also helped me in that as well. Repeating something which I really want every time, maybe 100 times a day when I'm not feeling well, telling I'm mother's child, or I am the Brahman, so I am, I can do anything. For example, if I'm doing so many things at once and I'm really overwhelmed, and then I expect from other people, and there's a lot of frustration because the expectation is not needed. And then I just tell myself, but I am the divine, and hence I don't need any help, just the divine will help me and I can do it. Like these things, the small things, I thought of sharing it. Maybe it's just out off track, but just my reflection.
Yeah, not off track at all. And it really helps because you never know, who's facing the same issue. And just to add to it, one thing that really helps me when I see something which appears too big is just the knowledge that this is my possibility as a human. And I know I've shared that before, but it just is very empowering, right? Because we usually, a slippery slope is feeling small. So when I see something so big, it feels that, oh, how can I do this? Or it's not my possibility. But to remind myself that, first of all, mother is saying, so it has to be a possibility. It cannot be, how some people just say things, hyperbole and stuff. But Soham, I have a question. Sorry. Yeah. So it just makes it real, and it's empowering that that's my possibility. Yeah. Any other comment?
When I was reading this, the whole world is in a condition of strife, conflict between the forces of truth and light, wanting to manifest, and the opposition of all that does not want to change, which represents in the past what is fixed, hardened, and refuses to go. Uh, the other day, while reading Savitri, I got into about this change, which represents the past that is fixed, hardened, and refuses to go. This is about the mind. Uh, in Savitri, or in the rights, if it could be put on the connection, our mind is a house. It starts with our mind is a house. Can this be put it on the screen?
Yes, Captain. Can you just repeat that again?
Our mind is a house haunted by the slain past.
Yeah, this one, right?
Our mind is a house. Yeah, yes, that's correct.
Hmm.
So here, Ashapati is in the self of mind. This is the chapter. So here he stops in between while climbing. Now, our mind is a house haunted by the slain past, ideas soon mummified, ghosts of old truths, God's spontaneities tied with formal strings and packed into drawers of resin's trim burial, a grave of great lost opportunities, or an office for misuse of soul and life, and all the waste man makes of heaven's gifts, and all his squanderings of nature's store, a stage for the comedy of ignorance. So the mind has become so rigid in all of us actually from the beginning. Like there was light travels in a straight line. So that experiment was take postcard, say 5, 6 postcards, and make a hole in the center and put them in one straight line. And other side of the candle, the postcard number 1, you put a candle, and from the other side, the postcard number 6, you look your eyes, look through the holes, and you can see the candle light. We are told that light travels in a straight line. So that was engraved in our mind in the school because it was shown by doing practical and all. When I went to the college and I was doing my physics honors, then dispersion of light came. Dispersion of light. Light not only travels in the straight line, it is not bending actually. There is a lot of dispersion and the diffusion takes place of the light. So, this something get hardened actually from the beginning of our life. The mother and our teachers and all whatever we have learned. So that has got engraved in the mind. So it is mummified. What he writes that ideas soon mummified and ghosts of old truths. Earlier there are so many truths actually have gone, but these are not the truth. These are the ghosts of old truths. As Aurobindo says, these are the ghosts of old truths and packed into drawers of reasons. Class, Jagan was speaking about the reasonings and packed into drawers of reasons, train bureau. So the reasoning of everything, the mind, we take anything and everything after doing the reasoning, and a grave of great lost opportunities, or an office for misuse of soul and life, and all the waste man makes of heaven's gifts. So all the gifts of the heaven, of the Almighty, so that goes waste. As a human being, we are wasting all this, our energy, and all the squanderings of nature's store, a stage for the comedy of ignorance. And we are in the ignorance, in conscience, actually. And we are not in a position to know what is truth and which side I should move. So that's why we have come to sunlight path. So that during sunlight, we can see the correct path and move. Thank you.
Beautiful way of making your point, Captain. Thank you. So I think we can move ahead. So the second half is Mother continues. And there is no other remedy. It's the only remedy for everybody without exception. To all those who suffer, it is the same thing that has to be said. All suffering is the sign that the surrender is not total. Then, when you feel in you a bang like that, instead of saying, oh, this is bad, or this circumstance is difficult, you say, my surrender is not perfect. Then it's all right. And then you feel the grace that helps you and leads you, and you go on. We have discussed it sometimes that if, say, there's a child, say, of 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, even, if they're innocent in today's world, I would say even 10, 12. It's for many children, especially the younger one, it's like mother is all is, like their own parents, their own mother. Okay, there's nothing that they need to worry about. And we had discussed it shortly that if you ask a 4-year-old that, where will your next meal come from? Like he look at you that, are you crazy? Like, why would I think of those things, right? Like there's absolute surety that I am being taken care of. So I say I have the mother. I say I am mother's child. I say mother loves me and I love the mother. And yet, right after saying that, I pick up that difficulty. I pick up, oh my God, am I doing it wrong? Oh my God, what is the right way? Or where is this confusion? Or what will this lead to? So if I see myself doing that, like how mother is saying, then it's a sure sign that, of course, my surrender is not complete. Because if I am picking up the problem, if I am picking up, okay, how will this happen? Or if I'm worrying, so then that means I don't have the faith, right? I don't trust. Or I say I trust and I keep taking it back, right? It's like a catch and throw, right? That I'm offering, but I'm taking it back. I'm offering and I'm taking it back. So it's funny how we play. So that then it's all right. And then you feel the grace that helps you and leads you, and you go on. So, then you're not blaming the circumstances, then you're not kind of taking rust in the situations, in the storylines that, oh, what is happening to me? Why is it happening to me? Why is the other person not doing this? Why is he or she not changing? Why can't they see? But so that would never happen because there's only one person that I can work on, and that is myself. So if I put it on me that my surrender is not perfect or I can offer more, so then you feel the grace that helps you and leads you, and you go on. Otherwise, I can spend years, wallowing in the pains of my storylines. And one day you emerge into that peace that nothing can trouble. See, so that is a possibility for me that one day I will emerge into that peace that nothing can trouble. You answer to all the contrary forces, the contrary movements, the attacks, the misunderstandings, the bad wills, with the same smile that comes from full confidence in the divine grace. Now, we were talking about equanimity, and I have shared before that in one of the talks by another saint from Vrindavan, I'd heard this and it was very shocking, and I've shared that before, that he said that perfect equanimity would be that if there's a baby born in your house or there is a body going out of your house, your state of being is still. That it's the same thing. One event is happening. It's not about what's happening, bad, good, death, birth. So that is my possibility. But how does that happen? Because right now it doesn't seem like a possibility. And this is, the answer that when my surrender is perfect, that mother is doing everything or God is doing everything, then you feel the grace that helps you and leads you, and you go on. And one day you emerge into that peace that nothing can trouble. And again, reminding that it's a mother who says that nothing can trouble. So she means it, like it's not just something that's made to look there so that it can look forceful or beautiful. You answer to all the contrary forces, the contrary movements, the attacks, the misunderstandings, the bad wills with the same smile that comes from full confidence in the divine grace. And that is the only way out. There is none else. So we cannot expect that, okay, some big thing would happen to me and then see one day I'll smile at it and this would happen, right? Every day when I am walking out of my door or going, I have walked out and some things happen, a comment, a reaction, a gesture, an abuse, a judgment. And instead of it lighting my fires or, in a bad way, if I can just smile, and that smile can only come if I have the full confidence in the divine grace. And that is the only way out. There is none else. This world is a world of conflict, suffering, difficulty, strain. It is made of it. It has not yet changed. It will take some time before changing. And for each one, there is a possibility of getting out. If you lean back on the presence of the Supreme Grace, that is the only way out. But for us, again, an old dialogue, that Amitabh Bachchan के मैं वहां भी गया, वहां भी गया, वहां भी गया और कुछ नहीं हुआ तो अब मैं तेरे पास आया हूँ, right? So that is the problem, right? That why did you not go to her or him first? Because I feel I'm too clever. I feel I can handle things. I feel I can take care of it. Why should I bow my head or why should I bother then? But she's saying that the only possibility of getting out is if you lean back on the presence of the Supreme Grace. So she repeats, don't expect human appreciation. This is a very big thing. I think that's why it's repeated, because a lot of my life is centered around what is he saying, she saying, what would be accepted in society, what would be what would give me praise, what would give me criticism. So rather than living, rather than listening to my inner voice, rather than doing what's right, I just, like a dog, right, wagging my tail, thinking that, okay, he'll pat me, she'll pat me, they might scratch me, in a ticklish way, so it will be fun. So that's what I'm doing. So don't expect human appreciation, because human beings don't know on what grounds to appreciate something. And moreover, when there is something that is superior to them, they don't like it. That's a fact of human nature, right? So we don't know on what grounds to appreciate something. So if I'll see, I don't know, a sannyasi, a person sitting peacefully under a tree in the middle of nowhere, I would say, oh my God, he could be crazy, let me stay away. And if I meet the CEO of Google, I'll say, wow, so he's a man who has done something. I'm not taking names, I shouldn't have said Google. But I don't have the brains, right, to see who is where. And it is said in numerous accounts, numerous stories of sadhaks, that when they saw Sri Aurobindo, it felt as if they are in front of a samrat, kings of kings. That was the presence he had. But I need to have that wisdom, that receptivity to even recognize the strength of that presence, because my eyes just see the glamour, my eyes just see the glitter. My eyes looks for brands, right? The uniforms, the brands, the shoes. I don't see the reality inside till I see it. So not saying it in a negative way, but so when I know that when I don't know how to assess things, how do I expect others to, when they are, praising me or when they are criticizing me, why do I let myself believe that? And a lot of times I've seen that even there are people I don't respect, even the people I would not want to be like, I would care for their opinions. I would care what they are saying. That feels really silly to me, but we do that. That I don't want to be like you, and yet I would want you to say, haha, you're okay, you're doing okay. Like, how would that happen? But till I learn, yeah. Yeah, so ending here. So don't expect human appreciation because human beings don't know on what grounds to appreciate something. And moreover, when there is something that is superior to them, they don't like it. This is also very reflective. That we don't know what all is played in somebody's brain because I don't even know what all plays in mine, right? So I can just stop playing the games and just, I don't know if I can with grace. Yeah. So before we go on to the next part of the same passage, if there's anything, we can take it up.
Yeah. Um, it's only like, in the end, you said it's only possible by grace, and that's the only solution. Because um, there are so many things I'm remembering from this. One of them is if I invite a person into my house and I stay with this person for 25, 30 years, or let's say 25 years. And he was like very thankful in the beginning, and he starts to become comfortable, and he starts to take my comfort, and then he starts to rule me. I've seen such people. I've been that person also, and I've been fortunate enough to be put back in place. But what I'm trying to say here is this person that I'm talking about is my reasoning. When he was introduced in my life, he was telling me that, you can do this in a different way. And I was thankful. He was also thankful. And then it came to a point where he's saying that I am better than God. When I say that, let me just surrender. He tells me that, why surrender? Look, listen to me. And I'm telling this reason that, I'm listening to you. I've been listening to you, and all I'm getting in return is pain and, sadness. So, yesterday I was talking about, being naked in my thoughts. And to be naked, I think it's also very important that I recognize that this person has now taken things for granted, and it's time for this person to leave the house. And unless I am not fully convinced that yes, he has to leave the house and his word carries no weight anymore, until then he is being entertained, and until then every time I walk in front of the mother, stand naked and say that in my thoughts, just to say that this is what is happening in my head. This reason again, just like Duryodhan, yesterday I was sharing this example, was covered that particular part of his body. Just like that, it will cover me, and when the divine grace shines, then that part is does not change, and that is where all negativity starts evolving again. So yeah, so I think, like you said, grace is the only way, and just keep on telling mother that this is not me, this is not me, take it away, take it away. That kind of helps me out. And the other thing, ma'am, you were talking about in the meeting, that it's all about how if I take my example, I like to point at people, say that this is you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. I asked my uncle about this. Like, I see people also, like, I am trying to change, but I also see people around me, behaving in a way that they, like, being hypocrites. Like, they say something, they do something, and I tell them it really annoys me because, the fact that they're talking, that they're telling me something that I resonate with, but yet because they're being a hypocrite, I don't want to listen because that's my ego coming in between. And then he said that the best way to deal with this is, firstly, like you said, focus on myself. The second, the best thing you can do to help him is to pray for him as well. Instead of complaining, instead of pointing at him, just pray for him and move on. Don't waste your energy on that. And that particular word really liberated me from so many, internal thoughts. My relationship with my close ones has also improved, because now I can just, I'm not saying it's very easy to just switch and just pray, but that is the only way. That is the only way, because um, yeah, yeah. So that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Is there Taru, who are we? I mean, when we sit in front of mother or when we are in her presence, it's her love. She sees us. Who are we to? We can't hide, even if we wanted to hide in front of her. But I just feel she knows everything. Like who? I think her love is so big that however I am, or there is no qualification for me to be able to surrender or to, be or feel her full presence. Is there a qualification really? नहीं ना,
नहीं नहीं बिल्कुल भी नहीं. No.
है ना?
हाँ
हम
हाँ.
तो जैसे भी हैं, तो वो तो she's there, she's like, I mean, it's just there in her presence. You're drenched, whatsoever, wheresoever we are, with desires, without desires, with nonsense, without nonsense, with our petty things that we care about and the big things that we care for. It's all there. This is a whole complex, very complex baggage that we have. But I feel that it becomes transparent in her presence. It is like it loses value apne aap in her in her love. It's so big that who are we to uh, and how can we also? I don't think it's possible also to and also for the fact that we are all born different is because we have these different baggages. There is a purpose to the fact that we are carrying these different glasses and looking at the world in a different light. That little bit of ego or whatever differentiation we have, it makes it more colorful and bright also. And whatever we are, with everything and or nothing, whatever we think we are hers, and she's just taking care, irrespective of what we think we are bearing in front of her and we think we are able to hide. But you can't hide, we can't protect or hide anything from mother. I mean, she is omnipresent. I feel that, and however petty I may be, but very qualified to receive all her love also, at whatever position we are at. Like because her love is much bigger than what we are. Who are we to, we won't be able to make up to her love ever, I really feel. What have we done or could do to deserve that? But she just loves because she is the mother. So, yeah. Yeah, I think I lost my point, but yeah, I just.
No,
Yeah.
I resonate with you in that sense, what you said, that she knows everything. There is nothing that she doesn't know. The only thing, I think what Jagan was pointing out, and I was thinking as well, that it is for us to, it is for our benefit, because there are things in us, like for me, there are things in me which I find I'm so disgusted by that even I cannot tell to myself. So I, try to always cover it with a covering. Or there's an example given of Krishna, and the Vastraharan he used to do of gopis when they were in the water. It is actually symbolically, if we read Bhagavad, it actually said ki the Vastraharan is basically the Vastraharan of even their self-righteousness, that that I have to cover myself to cover in front of the Lord, that shyness or the shameness that we have, that we cannot go with certain things in front of the Lord, that I have to at least cover this before going. But it is that Vastraharan is symbolic, that you do not need anything to go in front of the Lord. You can go however you like. So I think, in that sense, I think it's good for us, for me, that I can tell it to her, to nobody else but to her. I can go and actually tell that I don't know how can I deal with it. It's very hard for me to deal with it. Look, here am I. And it gives me a lot of certitude that there is somebody in my life with whom I need no covering. Because with everybody else in this world, consciously or unconsciously, we do cover ourselves very subtly. You'll see whether it's anybody, any human relationship. But in front of the divine, you really cannot. So I think it's for our benefit. It helps us if we just go how we are, no matter. But even, I don't know about other people, but my mind is so much conditioned that although my inner being knows that she is the embodiment of divine, she is, the love, the embodiment of unconditional love, I would still think, oh my God, I did this. Mother would think, my God, again I did it. She'll judge me. And then I'll catch myself. What am I thinking? How can mother judge me? But that is how complicated we are, Although we know what you're saying exactly, but the mind will question it. That, oh my God, this is the 100th time I did it again. I again ate that sweet. I told the mother, I promised it that, I'll do this. So, it's both ways, I think.
Yeah. So when you were saying what you were saying, Shilpi, it sounded so simple. And yet you don't see how much grace must be flowing in someone's life to be able to say that so easily, right? Because we are very complex beings, right? Like Jagan was saying, ruled by reason and analyzing, and the mental is so strong, the mind is so strong that it doesn't let us be this simple. I remember, and I've shared a lot of times, there was this talk from Dr. Anand Reddy who had basically explained that how the yoga changed through the year, that when Sri Aurobindo was here, then there, then came this, then came that. And in the end, he said that after Mother, the only thing that was given was that, and that he said was his main thing, that I love the mother and the mother loves me. Like that is the only yoga you need to do. But that was reached after so many ups and downs and here's and there's and surrender and rejection and aspiration and offering. The where it ended was where it ends is that I love the mother and the mother loves me. That how it mother was saying that this is the surrender, right? That yes, I have full faith. Yes, my love is there, what you were saying. So although you were saying it very easily, but for my mind to have that faith all the time is difficult because I'm not used to simple. I'm used to twists and turns and complications and, you know, lot of that. So if one can actually feel that in a lot of, even in some moments of one's day, that means there is a lot of grace flowing. Yes, Jagan.
Yes, and also like you said, the when I say that this reason is ruling me, or this reason is so strong, the mental is so strong. By that, it's only lately that I'm slowly realizing that I am the one who's making him strong. He by himself is not strong. It's in my head that I'm saying, you are the ruler, you were the so big, like just like exaggerating about someone's capability, although there is none there. So to kind of take a step back and see that, okay, you're just a visitor. Gotta go. And thank you, Shilpi, for reminding me of that word omnipresent. That's it always strikes me because it's such a powerful word. There was a story. I always bring the story by, I think Taru ma'am shared the story about the worms. In the darkness, and some worms can see the light. They preach about the light. Some worms go near the light and they're happy with that. And some worms turn into butterflies because they want to fly. They want to explore the light further. The Here the light is there, regardless of the worm seeing it or not. The light is always there, just like mother's grace is always there. But in order for me to become a butterfly, I have to, and I have to defeat all the things that are pulling me back, and then I can see the light. When I say I want to be naked in my thoughts. That's what, with that, I'm saying that by being naked in my thoughts, I'm able to see that light even further. Because if I have something in front of my eyes and the grace is there, Mother knows everything, absolutely. Yet I cannot see it because I have something in front of me just blocking it.
Reason
Thank
mane logic, na? Logical mind, na? That is what it means.
you.
है ना?
Yes.
Huh? हाँ. Mother will fight all battles for you, no? All the battles that need to be won and to be lost. I feel she takes care of both our victories and our losses, and both of them just align and get us closer to her light or make us see the light better. Whatever. Yeah, thanks, Jagan.
Actually, we have given up so much of our lives, of our days, of our strength to prove so much outside that it's hard to say that I don't know. It's hard to say that she knows and, I'm just, yeah. So again, Sri Aurobindo's aphorism on reason, right? That when we move beyond knowings, my little knowings, then we shall have the knowledge. Reason was the helper, reason is the bar. So jab I can stop feeling this confidence, this joy, this, I don't know, this bigness that, see, I know this, I know that, I have done this, I would do that, I am capable. How would true knowledge come to me? And then I'd keep making reason the master. But when I move beyond my knowings, then I shall have the knowledge. The reason which was helpful for me to build a personality, to be more than an animal, will be my bar that I won't be able to go beyond that. So it's a beautiful journey. And
Also, I wanted to say that often we really, you know, critique reason, especially on the spiritual path. But actually, if you read mystics and even in integral yoga, Sri Aurobindo says, even we have read it in Inspiration Lives, that till the time you have not find a psychic, reason is very important. That should be the driving force of our life, not this act. What we think reason is actually the sentimentalization of the vital. That we think that's not reason. A pure and true reason is should be the basis of our life till the time we are truly aligned with the divine will, because then that let itself go. So for me, the actual trouble is to be reasonable, because I don't know how to be reasonable. I'm so much sentimentalized about things that I don't know how to be reasonable. Later on, I would think later on that, but what I did and so much drama I created for me and for other people, it was so much frivolous. Was no reason behind it. So for me, actually, the struggle is to have reason in my life, you know? So yeah, so that.
yeah, good point. But you know how we use that example that when we have reason, we just start seeing everything through that lens, right? Like that example we use, that if you have a knife and you just start doing everything with it, you can't brush with it, you can't, I don't know, comb with it. So when we have reason or we think we are intelligent, we just use it everywhere, wherever it's not needed also. And where it's needed, we must use it. So yeah, that's the catch. But yeah, I absolutely agree that reason must rule, and how we think what is reason and how it, I don't know, takes us to places where we don't want to be. Yeah, so I think I would not like to go forward today. This feels enough. And so we are on this passage, the only way out. We have done the first part, and next time we'll be taking up the second one. But where to get such a strength, right? Because she's talking about things that need a lot of strength. So if we want, we can just read it once so that it gives us something more to reflect on, and we'll pick it up in details next week. So if anybody is willing, they can read the passage starting from here till the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But where to get such a strength? Within you. The divine presence is in you. It is in you. You look for it outside. Look inside. It is in you. The presence is there. You want the appreciation of others to get strength. You will never get it. The strength is in you. If you can aspire for what seems to you the supreme goal, supreme light, supreme knowledge, supreme love. But it is in you. Otherwise, you would never be able to contact it. If you go deep enough inside you, you will find it there, like a flame that is always burning straight up. And don't believe that it is so difficult to do. It is because the look is always turned outside that you don't feel the presence. But if, instead of looking outside for support, you concentrate and you pray inside to the supreme knowledge, to know at each moment what is to be done, the way to do it. And if you give all you are, all you do in order to acquire perfection, you will feel that the support is there, always guiding, showing the way. And if there is a difficulty, then instead of wanting to fight, you hand it over to the supreme wisdom to deal with it, to deal with all the bad wills, all the misunderstandings, all the bad reactions. If you surrender completely, it is no more your concern. It's the concern of the Supreme who takes it up and knows better than anybody else what is to be done. The only way out. There, my child. Thank you.
So ending with these lines from the mother, we have heard them, and with grace we'll reflect on them, and more we'll become them. Because if we don't become them, then these sessions are again just entertainment, and that would be quite sad. We are capable of more. So the prayer is, the aspiration is to become the words that I resonate with, so that life can change practically. So thanking grace, thanking divine for the opportunity for such sessions, thanking him for the eyes that can read, the ears that can listen, the mouths that can talk. So praying for peace and wellness in my heart and others, and sharing the merit, if any, with everybody. May all beings be full of joy, peace, love, and progress. Thank you.